Hi, I'm going to talk about the ALM today, and the ALM is a four-level model that revolves around your level of a certain skill. So when you first started to ride a bike, you really didn't know, you didn't know anything about it, right? You only knew how to push the pedals down, and that's just from the first time you ever did it. You just thought that's what I should be doing, and you needed a lot of help. You needed the little tricycle things, and you needed like your parents to help you, right? Now you can ride a bike or drive a car without even thinking about it, right? So there are four levels to the ALM. There's unconscious incompetence, so you don't even know what you don't know. There's conscious incompetence, and you have an understanding of what you need to do, but you can't put strings together, or you don't have the necessary skills to do it. And there's conscious competence, so you know what you need to do, but it takes a lot of conscious effort to do, right? And there's unconscious competence, and you know what you need to do, and you can do it every single time without even thinking. And that's unconscious competence. Um, and so, I want you guys to just think about a couple things. I want you to think about how much you knew when you first started to play. I want you guys to think about the complexity of your thought process when making decisions while you play now, compared to when you first started to really want to improve. I want you guys to think about a mistake that you recently discovered in your play. I want you guys to think about decisions while playing that are made automatically. And I want you guys to think mistakes that never happen anymore. And so I'm going to explain an experience, an example, not really an experience, but an example of the neutral with the ALM process. And so when playing for the first time, you may not even have been aware of the concept of neutral or footsies, and you just press buttons. And even with some knowledge of the neutral, the first time you played, it's unlikely you had any idea of why Donkey Kong's short hop double back air is unsafe on block. So whether you are unconsciously incompetent about the concept as a whole, or just the finer details, in some way, this was a weakness that you didn't even know about. So we're going to fast forward a bit to a couple weeks or a months even, after you started to learn more about how to play Smash or even just fighting games, and specifically the neutral. You may have picked up certain info from a friend or article on Smashboards that explains like the value of certain options at certain positions, or from an opponent who explained why rolling is a bad habit of yours, or from playing more even, you realized that you're second best way too often, far too often. So you weren't sure what options you should be choosing yet, but you did realize something was off. Simply realizing that you were making mistakes in neutral didn't mean you were good at it, just that you needed to work on it. So a really easy way to know that you're at the level of conscious incompetence is that you've recognized the mistake for the first time. So after playing and studying more, you know the bonuses and you know the minuses, or the pluses and minuses, I guess, of all of your options in neutral. It feels as if you're improving, and you're winning neutral more and more, and things are getting really good. Until you lose focus at the end of a long session, or you're frustrated having lost a few games you think you shouldn't have. The mistakes are obvious afterwards, but that only reinforces the reality that you don't know your options as well as you thought you did. And at this point in the learning process, you still need to think about what options to choose, otherwise you make mistakes. After even more experience, more work, and more learning, your job is finally complete. Now, when you choose an option, even when you're on tilt, you can do it without a thought. It's a new habit or decision that's just made automatically. A lot of work is needed to get to this point, and the benefit is well worth it. Right? It's very much worth getting something to that level of unconscious competence. And you no longer need to think about certain options to be good at the neutral. And because of that, your mind is free to learn something else. So now you can learn whatever. You can learn execution. You could learn reading people, or adaptation. It doesn't matter. You can learn anything you want at that point. So whether it's neutral or tilt control, there is a limit to how much your mind can think about in a given moment. You can only work on parts of your game at one time, and as a result, it's critical to know what level of the ALM all of your skills are in, so you know what to focus on when you're improving. If you no longer need to think to be good at something, you have more mental space to work on another weakness in your game, and move it eventually from conscious incompetence to unconscious competence. However, if you fall back into old habits, you need more work, no matter what you thought previously. So in reality, the learning process has many more small steps than the ALM specifies, but as an overall theory, it's amazingly simple and incredibly important to your game. And a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of people don't realize what the ALM is or how important it is to your play. But obviously, like, a lot of players, whenever I explain this, they're going to know what it is, but they didn't know it had a name, right? ADHD, for example, he's a Diddy Kong player from Brawl, and this is how he got good. He just brought everything he did to that level of unconscious competence, and he doesn't think when he plays. He's just that good. But yeah, my name's Oddby Farmer. Um, Thanks for watching my video. Oddby Farmer Gevra. I go by Gevra now. You can follow me on Twitter at Gevra_. Um, I'll ask if you want to ask any questions about this, please don't hesitate. I love talking about this kind of stuff. I'm not good at making videos, but I tried, I guess. I'll probably make a twit longer about this as well.